Now, so we can play with instruments we call fixed tuning. In other words, instruments that just have those notes and don't have any other notes, so that you could play this instrument as well, because we're limited to the number of notes. You can play any note, and it's going to blend. It's going to sound okay. So you don't have to worry about hitting wrong notes or anything like that. We can also play other flutes, and so we've got the pocket flute, which is also an A flute. So just as an example, this is an octave above. Wow, these are tiny. This is an octave above that. So if you could all just play your low A. So all holes covered. Yeah, and let's do a little rhythm like do, 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 do. Yeah, and I'll play over it. Play together. So you were playing kind of an accompaniment for me, right? You were accompanying me. And
trying to blow it out.
Yeah, that's good. You have to keep.
Or it's because I keep missing the holes exactly.
That could be too. That could be too. So if your fingers, that's why you have to do repetition, because if your fingers are not covering the hole completely, you end up with those other weird sounds. This is a bass flute. This is also an A flute. So this is the one below that one. So I was just playing the pocket flute, which is the one above. It's an octave above the one you have. Yeah, so these three are in the same family. So they're just different versions of the same key, but I have to make them, that's pretty different, right? Yes. So, but starting with this, the A flute is a great place to start. It's fairly easy. The holes are not too far apart. And it's easy to play. I like the pocket flute because, as you just heard, it cuts above, it's sort of above everything. So you can even play it with drumming or other instruments, and it'll just cut through. Whereas this flute, the medium flute, if you get more than a couple of percussion instruments happening acoustically, it might be a little hard to hear it. So you want to have soft instruments, low volume instruments, with this flute. And then with this flute, even more so, because it's not very loud. But I can accompany you. So let's just have, who's ready to play? Craig? Craig, I will play a sound under yours, and you just improvise whatever you want to play. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. But
by myself?
Yeah, well, I'll be playing with you. Nice.
I can hardly hear that.
Yeah, it's very soft. Mm-hmm. Well, here's what it sounds like by itself. But that was great. That was good. So that's
I
it.
had one in that I haven't heard in these others. A tremolo just a little bit.
Oh, I'm doing that with my breath.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's another tricky thing.
That's another level.
Okay.
That's called vibrato. Yeah, it's just vibrato. It's just like a singer making vibrato.
Okay.
I like that one.
Yeah, isn't that nice? Mm-hmm. There's other bass flutes. Like, this is the A. So I was going to show you, I just have a few of my flutes here. This one is D, the key of D. So now this would be a little bit different than if I played this flute with that flute. This is in D, this is a D bass, and that's A bass. So they can kind of go together, but it's not exactly. I mean, you're going to hear different harmonies. But because that one is exactly a fifth above it, If we play the same notes together, we'll be in parallel harmony. So that could be kind of fun. But here's what the D sounds like. So that's really nice too. A little louder, smoother. Here is an F sharp, and the F sharp is kind of the preferred key for most Native American players. This tends to be the most common key for the traditional Native American recordings, if you get recordings. A lot of F sharp. F sharp's nice because it's a warm, it's kind of like an alto voice, it's not as high as the A or the C, so it's not in the soprano range. It's just that warmer, it's like the viola of the ensemble. So you get the kind of richness, the warmth, but you still get the agility of the higher flute and the volume. So it's a really nice range. This one's made of walnut, as opposed to Spanish cedar, which is what those are. What? That's called jazz at the end, where you make a weird sound, but you repeat it a few times, so it sounds like you meant to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the F sharp. So another, they're all great. I mean, it's just the only reason you get the different flutes is because it just has a little bit different quality, and then you can play with, in different keys, in different other keys, tonalities. So, and then they go up from there. Here's another model. This is called a spirit flute, and this one looks a little bit different. See, it's got a flat bird. It's integrated, so there's nothing sitting on the flute, just all one unit. And this one starts at C, and it goes up to C. So this one starts on the second note of that flute, because that one was A, C, right? A, C, D, E, G, A. This one is C, D, E, G, A, C. It's one note up. So
you can play these together.
Yeah, I can play these together. So let's do that. I'll start on this, and then you guys come in, just so you can hear what it sounds like. So just a little bit higher range than the A flute.
last order.
Yeah. Contest for the last note. All right, good. That sounds great. So again, here's a tongue drum or slit drum, tuned drum, really beautiful drum made by Hardwood Music that you could play along with this flute, and you can just.
Are those all made in different keys also?
Yeah, these instruments.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all made in different configurations. This one is actually my design, or they designed it for me because I asked for a tonality that would go with the flute because they didn't have anything that fit exactly. So I asked them to make this, and they did a great job on this because it's so nice because you can play left side, right side. So and you get an A minor-ish kind of sound, and then G major.
Do they have that? Will they replicate that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm going to show you something else that's really cool about this when we look at the steel pan over there, because you can play this with the steel pan and the flutes and everything. So I always look for instruments that I can play together. So the happy drum and this drum and the flutes and everything, we can play all these together, and we don't have to know anything about music theory because we can just play any note on our instrument.
Pre-tuned.